people of the internet, I am Andres Perez, aka Keychain Noir, or Mexican Yuji Naka, according to some people, and welcome to another discussion here with the same friends that I've had over on the Venom 2 trailer discussion video, which you can see on my channel if you haven't already. So here with me once again, it is none other than Ace Marrok. I hope I'm pronouncing that right this time. I probably didn't.
No, actually, you did pronounce it correctly this time, and this time I won't have to leave early, so I'm here for the whole discussion.
Awesome. And last but certainly not least is sprite artist extraordinaire, Mr. Random.
Behold my floating masterpiece, the Carrier! What? It pales in comparison to the power of chaos. Adieu, until we meet again, my friends.
And this all were coming out of when Robotnik was coming out of the toilet.
Oh my.
Get a load of this. And Chris Hansen's like, we told you last night. No.
Meanwhile, George is like, I think they may have went too far in a few places. Not enough computers.
See, Robotnik is the key to all this. Hopefully it all works out.
So all three of us happen to not only be Spidey fans, but also happen to be fans of the Blue Blur himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. And so Random actually had this idea for us to get back together to do another discussion video, this time focusing on the recent Sonic Central presentation made in celebration of Sonic the Hedgehog's 30th anniversary. And yeah, on top of that, I figure the best way to go about discussing the recent announcements with Sonic is to first go into how all three of us were first introduced to Sonic, since I believe this might be the very first time I've ever talked about the subject here on this channel of mine. So yeah, I guess given that this was your idea first, Random, how about you talk about how you were first introduced to Sonic the Hedgehog and give like a brief summary of your experience with the franchise as a whole up to this point?
Sure. Okay. I've been playing the series probably since the beginning. I remember playing the game around a cousin's house, I think the year it came out. And I was like, oh, because I still had the old NES at the time, so I was still playing Mario 1 and 3. I was like, oh, what's this thing? Played a couple of levels, and I thought, oh yeah, sure, 'cause I could try this out. We got the Mega Drive shortly after. Again, that's what the Genesis is called in Europe and Japan, just for context out there for those
right.
who don't know.
I was just going to say, like, if you couldn't guess by his accent by now, he's not exactly from the US.
Yeah, although the weird thing about
the British.
Well, this is a weird tangent, but someone allegedly thought because of my accent, I was from Austria, if you can believe that. And I looked at them and said, like,
to be fair, there are types of accents that do have that.
Yeah. Anyway, so enough of Schwarzenegger. Let's get back to Sonic. Yeah, do it now. Right. So it's me and Sonic. Let's see. I think I had a falling out with the series around the 2005-2006 mark. I don't think I need to explain why. I think anyone who hears the word Sonic and the year 2006, let's just leave it with that.
That's no good.
I think half the problem with it is the reason why I've fallen off the wagon with it. It's just that you had a cool idea of, little cartoony hedgehog fighting Teddy Roosevelt over nature. Why do you need to change? Suddenly we're doing like, oh, he's now fighting water gods. He's now fighting Mephistopheles and all this other weird shit. It's just like, this is still a Sonic game, right? I mean, say what you want about Mario, but at least he still kind of keeps to a central theme, even though that central theme is quite dated, but we're getting off. And starting with like Unleash, Colors Generations, I got back into it again. Sonic Boom, I kind of walked out the door again. And then Mania happened, and it's just like it's kind of like when you're leaving an abusive relationship and they promise to change, and then they change, and then they go back to being how they were 5 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of this point. It's like I like Sonic, but I'm not one of those people that goes insane over it and argues about it, and I'm not one of those people that just plays it for attention. Director, but it's just. I guess the best way I can describe it is if the game's is good, I will play. Anything I suspect is horseshit, I avoid it like the plague.
Sounds fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so how about you, Ace?
Well, from my exposure, I actually didn't really get into it until much later in the game. I never really grew up with the classic games, so I don't really have any personal attachment to those. I didn't really actually play those the Genesis games until high school, actually, when I finally got it on the Xbox Arcade. But when I began with Sonic the Hedgehog, it was actually through the Adventure Days on the Nintendo when it was transported over to the Nintendo GameCube. Me and my brother, we used to play Nintendo games all the time, and then we discovered this character called Sonic. And and when we saw like the 3D gameplay at the time, it reminded us a lot of, say, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, stuff that we played on the PlayStation as well. But there was always something about Sonic that always, I guess you could say, it always affected me in a strange way. Like I've always like the world and characters enticed me far more than Crash and Spyro did. And from that point forward, I just got more and more interested. And then, of course, I found the cartoons like Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic SatAM. And yeah, I became a full fan from that point forward. I, of course, played, Adventure 1 and Adventure 2. Adventure 2 still standing for me as my favorite Sonic game. Of course, I played Sonic Colors. And I mean, at that time, I was too young to really understand a lot of the flaws, but I didn't mind the year '06. I do understand now, like with a lot of the problems with it, but as a kid, I didn't have that same amount of emotional attachment to it.
That's fair.
But then that changed, though, when in high school was when I played Sonic Colors, and then I became much more critical. And gradually from there, it was a gradual downward spiral of more and more being less interested in the franchise. For me, I didn't mind stuff like Sonic fighting gods and characters like Mephiles, but because I've already experienced that with characters like Chaos and stories that we've seen in Shadow, with SA2. But I do see other people like randoms here issues when it came to that game. That game. But when it came to, say, like stuff like Colors and Generations, and especially in the case of Lost World and, a certain game that happened in 2014, I just stopped on looking at that and seeing all this cartoonish-esque style, which for me doesn't really work for Sonic. It feels too... I think it felt too much like, say, Steven Universe and Adventure Time and Mario. It just didn't really it wasn't really attached to that type of Sonic. And then gradually I walked out until...
You're basically saying that it felt a little like too kiddie, too cartoonish, and not taking it very seriously.
Yeah, you know what? Actually, the franchise that I would compare this to is that it reminds me a lot of Kamen Rider, in that the first couple of installments have this very straight face and even having a darker edge to them, but not fully like that. They still have moments of levity and still can be something that can appeal towards what Sonic actually would be made for. That's a family-friendly audience. Actually, going all the way back, that's exactly what they intended for it to be. But with the later games being more kiddie, it wasn't something that really appealed to me, and I could definitely tell not a lot of fans were definitely appealed by it either. But of course, then we got Sonic Forces, which seemed like a step back in the direction I wanted to, and then, then we got Sonic Forces, and then from that point forward, I didn't want anything Sonic related with a 10-foot pole. I couldn't really get into it at that point. I mean, other than, of course, this news that we might be talking about today, which may be a glimmer of hope, but I'm not batting an eye on it. At most, Sonic has more become something I've been more inspired by in terms of storytelling. A lot of ideas that I personally have had over the years have been influenced by Sonic in some shape and form. And no matter what, I can't deny that the series helped shape me into the person I am today.
All right, interesting. And like you, Ace, I myself was of the generation that was first introduced to Sonic via the GameCube adventure ports. I remember it was probably around... I remember the commercials for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, or either Sonic, I'm not sure if it was the GameCube or the original Dreamcast, did either of you remember those commercials where there was like a director who was using a megaphone screaming at like actual hedgehogs to perform all the stunts that Sonic and Shadow would do in the game?
That was SA2.
Yes, that was SA2, and that was brilliant.
Ron Hedgie versus Brown Hedgie.
That was like my very first exposure to Sonic was that commercial. And
Yeah.
eventually I ended up seeing the game for myself at a friend's house sometime in like elementary school, where my friend was playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle on the GameCube. He was showing off the final level of the game, and I thought, wow, this is like the coolest shit I've ever seen. Just two Super Saiyan cartoon characters taking on a freaking kaiju in the middle of space. Like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yes,
With a space
always.
shoved up its ass.
And I believe when it came to Sonic games, the first one I ever really played, it was I believe 2004 or 2003's Sonic Heroes, and shortly
2003.
2003, thank you. So yeah, 2003 was when I played Sonic Heroes. This was like right around the time where I first got a GameCube, and that's when after that I quickly got Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 on the GameCube for myself. And at that point, I became like a fully fledged Sonic fan, buying every game I could from during my junior high and high school years. I ended up, despite growing up on the 3D games, I ended up eventually learning about the classic games through Sonic Mega Collection Plus on the PS2 and Sonic Gems Collection on the GameCube. It was right around the 2008 where I started feeling burnt out on Sonic. Like, you know, you guys have mentioned, the late 2000s was not exactly a great year for our favorite Hedgehog. That's, you know, at that point it sort of became almost, I hate to say this, but if like during the late 2000s with, you know, the rise of the internet culture and the Sonic, its sort of fan base kind of fell into infamy. It sort of became almost embarrassing to say that you're a Sonic fan during that period of time. I'm sure you guys would probably disagree. I don't know, but
I wouldn't disagree. I honestly would say it's more embarrassing now to be a fan than it was back then.
I think it all depends on who you speak to, because most of the fans most fans of the community I've spoken to are pretty level-headed, down to earth. But the weird thing is, like, you hear like the whole internet joke is, oh, they're all these crazy, weird, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, really? Because the people I talk to are actually kind of sane. But I guess maybe it's because I don't hang out on certain YouTube parts or forums. I don't notice this shit that much.
Very
or
true.
DeviantArt.
You could say the same thing about like the Godzilla fan base, as Ace and I knows that while Ace and I have been fortunate enough to hang out with a lot of cool Godzilla fans, there's a whole mess that he and I would much rather prefer to easily avoid.
Even if some of those end up being professionals. A story for another day, folks.
Right. Perhaps a story that will never be told. So around the late 2000s, I started feeling burnt out from Sonic and that, and just like the whole atmosphere, vibe, aura, what have you, around the franchise started feeling a little less fun overall, whether it's the online internet culture or the lackluster games themselves. So Sonic Unleashed,
or the fact it became so trendy just to hate on someone.
Right. So like after Sonic,
I'm not naming names, but it rhymes with 0 punctuation.
Wait a minute. When it comes to the games, Sonic Unleashed was actually like the very last game I ended up playing back in 2008. And so I kind of skipped over a lot of the later games like Sonic Colors, Sonic Lost World, Sonic Generations. I hear so many good things about Sonic Generations. I played a little bit at my cousin's house like a couple years back, and from what little I played, I was like, wow, I wish I hadn't have given up on the franchise when this came out. I do plan to eventually buy that game at some point, but maybe down the line when it eventually gets re-released for a modern console. I did eventually play Sonic Mania Plus on this. It was actually like one of the first 3 games I ever got for my Nintendo Switch, and I had a blast playing that game. And so as of now, yeah, the only Sonic games I've played in recent years has been just Sonic Mania Plus. But I still keep, my ear to the ground. I still keep my eyes open. I still try to keep up with what's been going on with the franchise. So I definitely try to keep in touch, keep up to date with what's been going on, such as the case with, Sonic Central, the topic of today's discussion. So yeah, given all of our experiences with Sonic, all of us haven't exactly been, the most positive, I feel, of we've all been, we all consistently haven't been feeling very positive in terms of our outlook on the franchise currently in its current state. So I'm sure for a lot of Sonic fans, they were really looking forward to seeing what sort of announcements they'll have for this Sonic Central presentation, especially given that it's not only the 30th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog, but it also happens to be a good couple of years since the last major Sonic title. So a lot of people were expecting some big announcements, and we kind of got it.
Sort of, not really.
Right. So it's almost sort of like
an announcement rather than an announcement, really.
Yeah, right. It kind of reminds me a lot of... Go ahead.
It's kind of like when Square Enix went to I think it was E3 when Square Enix said that we have an announcement of our announcement at Tokyo Game Show. It's like, why are you here?
Right.
I have something very important to tell you, and I will tell you in a few months' time. Bye.
It actually, honestly, doesn't this sort of presentation kind of remind you of the 25th anniversary events when they had like a live stream concert, and then at the very, very end, they announced both Sonic Mania and Sonic Forces with a similarly brief teaser at the very end.
Yeah, they they advertised Sonic Mania fully in the very beginning of the live stream,
right?
But Forces was advertised at the very end.
And I guess for this, we'll get into it later. I would like to go through the Sonic Central presentation announced beat by beat, but I would like to say that it's perhaps possible to say that in terms like Mania and Forces were the two big announcements for the 25th anniversary stream presentation. So I guess you could say that what Sonic, for as far as we know, Sonic Rangers is to Sonic Forces, Sonic Colors Ultimate is kind of to Sonic Mania, wouldn't you say?
In that sense of one game trying, and I'll say this word very loosely, trying to expand upon the formula, while the other one's a definite
nostalgic callback?
Banking on nostalgia would be, I think, a better word to use here. But yeah, that too.
So I guess like
that'd probably be Sonic Origins, though, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah, but they barely went into Sonic Origins, and again, we'll get into that when we eventually reach that point. So,
sure.
So briefly, before we go into the first announcement, what were your guys' opinions going forward? What were your expectations prior to watching the presentation?
Well, I think Random and I can definitely agree on this, because there were a lot of rumors speculating what could we get with the next Sonic game. Of course, the biggest rumor being that we were going to possibly get a Sonic Adventure remastering or remake in the style of Crash Bandicoot the Crash Bandicoot remastering, as well as Spyro. Exactly. And we just, in general, that was the biggest guess of what we could have gotten as an announcement. Plus, it makes sense because Adventure is just past its 30th anniversary. Adventure
20th.
2,
20th.
Oh no, yes, you're right. It was 20th. My mistake. Of course, that going its 20th. Adventure 2, going into its 20th. So yeah, there was a lot of speculation on where it could have gone, and the announcement itself. The announcement itself was okay, I guess, for at least for the newer games that I would somewhat be interested in. But other than that, though, the video itself is very underwhelming because there's not really much that most of us, I think, for here as being Sonic fans, really care about.
And
well, at least it told us one important thing, though. It told us one important thing, that Sonic can run very fast. And that's key information.
Finally! Yes. Just what I always wanted!
That's what I always wanted!
Now time to make 10 theory videos on what it could possibly mean.
But hey, that's just
a theory.
A shameless reference.
And cut. So Jane, Random, what were your sort of like expectations, but prior to going into Sonic Central?
Fridge magnets.
Well, it seems like we got, in terms of merchandise.
Okay.
They exist. They're just sold out, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, this seems like. Don't worry, buddy. We'll get you your fridge magnets one day.
Yay!
In the meantime, they pretty much.
In all seriousness, though.
Go ahead.
In all seriousness, though, fridge magnet cravings to one side. Yeah, I mean, I think at this point, like, if anyone's been following Sonic's social media via like the YouTube, the Facebook, or Twitter, God forbid, like they've been dropping all these hints. They keep referencing Sonic Adventure. They keep, the little shout outs, what have you, and it's kind of like either shit or get off our mouths at this point. You know what I mean? And it's just like at this point, it's just like, we're going to get an Adventure remake. We're getting an Adventure remake. I'd love to see an Adventure remake in the style of like the Resident Evil 2 remake, especially, where they take elements of the original, but they place it in a way that if you're a fan, you go, I know what this is. Like, for example, like if they did the Gamma and Beta boss fight near the middle of the game rather than at the end, you sort of go, but it's like a whole new location and shit. But I think the announcement we got, it's just, I mean, to be fair, it's a teaser trailer, so what were you expecting kind of thing? But it's kind of, I mean, a lot of people are speculating, he's in a forest and there's Aztecian symbols, Mystic Ruins, like Adventure remake confirmed. And I think that's like, not even Mr. Fantastic can reach that far.
Yeah. Just, plus, it doesn't really help either, because in that it's certainly not an Adventure remake, because the design of Sonic is again the modern Sonic design, not the Adventure design.
Well, you say that, but in the Resident Evil 2 remake, shamelessly bringing it up again, they did actually sort of update character design, so Leon's face, kind of hair, resembles his modern counterpart slightly. So I'm not against them using a more up-to-date model, but I think, besides that, I'm just going to get that one out of the way now, because Sonic Zap, Sonic Rangers, Sonic Tiddlywinks, whatever they end up calling it, it's just, so far, it's like, you have shown us a trailer that tells us nothing, apart from Hedgehog run very fast and makes weird Aztecian symbols on ground. Ooh, that's a day one purchase right there. But I think at this point, I'm going to reserve any comment I make about that until they show us something concrete, because there's no point going, oh my god, this is great, or oh god, this will be bad. And by the end, it's just, it may or may not be what you think it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. And when it comes to my expectations, I pretty much set them at 0. I have been hearing people talk about like leaks and rumors concerning what they were going to talk about. Apparently, there was a rumor about some around this time that came out where supposedly some Sonic Adventure remakes were in development around 2014, but were canceled after Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyrics crashed and burned. But in terms of the actual announcements themselves, there was rumors that there was a new Sonic game, and it seemed like this one whole Sonic Central was one big build up to a rather lackluster teaser that didn't really tell us anything. And also, a few days prior to Sonic Central, it was leaked by a certain retail website that Sonic Colors Ultimate Edition had been like put up had a listing on that website, and that clued everyone in that there was going to be a Sonic Unleashed Sonic Colors remaster / port. So that surprise was ruined for me, essentially. And what we ended up getting was just sort of like a rather lackluster presentation that didn't really offer us a whole lot to get excited for, other than, hey, we got everything except magnets for you guys to buy right now.
It sounds like the franchise to me.
It, but all you can hear in my head right now is the sad, lonely man tune, The Incredible Hulk.
Or that other meme music. All around me is familiar
the
places.
And in my case, I'm just thinking of John Tron. And in my case, I'm just thinking of John Tron during the Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts video.
Sorry, what was that, James?
Gone.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Or in my case, the camera zooms in very slowly, and you hear the Gundam wing. God damn. Like, I hear that tune. It's like, did someone die? What the fuck?
So I guess like going into how they started off Sonic Central, it starts off with a very brief introduction to the two individuals. We have Ivo Gershevich, who is the global chief brand officer, and we have the man of the hour, Takashi Iizuka, the creative officer slash head of Sonic Team, who's been kind of running this franchise into the ground.
Scapegoat.
What's that?
AKA the scapegoat.
Right. Everyone's favorite punching bag for what's wrong with Sonic these days.
Well, there's one other punching bag, but that's a story for another day.
He is essentially the Yoshinori Ono of the Sonic franchise.
Right, and if you don't know,
I have good ideas. No, you do not.
If you don't know who he is, just take a look at how the current state of Street Fighter, and you'll know what's up. For Iizuka here, I'm sure he's trying his best, but I don't think, given his output of games, I just don't think he's.
You're serious? Let me laugh even harder.
I'm just saying. Perhaps, maybe, just maybe, he's not leader material. Just saying. I got a bit of a feeling there.
As to quote you, Andres, really? Oh man, here's the thing. Iizuka's a very good developer, but he's not a producer. He's just not the person for that role. Get someone else there. Jesus.
I've heard he's got pictures of the entire Sega staff. He's got pictures of them with a goat, and that's why he still has a job.
He's like, what are we? Were we supposed to?
I've got pictures of you, Quimby. You don't scare me. That could be anyone's ass.
No. Install the wisps into this new game, or else you know what's gonna happen.
Well, it's just like the bomb goes off on the train.
So we got these two guys who are our main announcers, mostly with Ivo being the main announcer for this Nintendo Direct-esque presentation, which, by the way, I can see what they were going with, trying to do the whole online presentation deal that Nintendo has been doing for the last, couple of years. So if they continue to do this sort of thing, I wouldn't mind it. I feel like if they had something worth presenting, I would say this would be a decent way of producing and making announcements, as opposed to waiting on just releasing trailers on their own.
Yeah. It's a decent marketing ploy to use. If they actually had legit content, it could definitely be nice. It's just, the thing is, I am starting to get a little bit sick and tired of the whole cryptic thing going on with Sega right now, because this is the same thing they did for the 25th anniversary, and it's fine that that happened the first time. No one's going to really care the second time. So, if from this point forward, if they're going to go with this direction, good, but stay straight with it. Don't try to try to do the whole cryptic thing, unless it's something. Unless you're going to do with a giant hiatus, for the next 10 years or so, what happened with Sonic and before the adventure came along. There was a hiatus of games. Of course, there were some experimental games in between then, but in terms of a big Sonic game, yeah, it was a while before we got that.
So the first announcement that they made was they were going to do a 30th anniversary concert that apparently it's going to happen on June 23rd. That is going to be free for viewing online. So it's like a virtual concert essentially, featuring a large orchestra as well as several several musicians that have been well associated with the Sonic franchise. One especially being the band Crush 40. So I guess that was a somewhat decent way of starting off a presentation, and it did kind of remind me of what Nintendo did for Zelda's anniversary when they did their own orchestral concerts, where they also I believe they also released a soundtrack of said concert. And hey, if they ever sold a CD or a soundtrack for an anniversary for Sonic, I'd be down for it, given how much great music there is for the franchise, but I'm kind of I'm blown away by why they haven't done anything like that, as far as I know, yet.
Yeah, there have been some. I recall that there was some occasions of doing orchestra concerts like that, but it's very minimal. And for the most part, it's usually just for celebrate. It's just usually for advertising Crush 40.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So for the next announcement, unless you guys have anything to say about the concert.
Well, no, apart from all I was going to say is that, next to Mega Man, Sonic has one of the best soundtracks in the business, so I'd probably listen to it.
Awesome, yeah.
Yeah, same. I mean, I did think, though, it was a little bit weird that they just were like, it's Koyatani and everyone else. Meanwhile, poor Jun Sonoi's playing his guitar, and he's just so sad. He's like, I did myself.
Don't wanna be. Let's see. So for the next announcement, it was like a string of video game collaborations in which other developers are placing like Sonic as an alternate costume or theme aesthetic into upcoming games or already released games. The first one was actually quite terrifying. It was the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games. The official video game in which you can play as a man in a giant freaky Sonic mascot suit running around participating in the Olympics.
Not even the character, but just like a guy in a costume. It's like Sneak King all over again.
They could have got fucking Sonic Man from the 06 game.
Yeah.
Missed
yes! Then I'd buy it.
Oh boy, yeah. This one was just disturbing on so many meta levels. I'm like,
well, better yet, they could have got Robotnik at the Olympics.
Yes.
Jim Carrey's Robotnik, more specifically, if they want to advertise the movie.
Although, if they could like reuse audio from Sonic Adventure, like he gets the gold medal and goes, "I don't need you when I have this." He swings the fucking shot put, goes, "Get a load of this."
So I was wondering, like, what was the point of this in video games existence when we already have Mario and Sonic at the Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games? But then, Random, you pointed out how this is essentially like Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, but just the non-Nintendo version that they can put out on every single console imaginable.
Yeah, it's very much
also,
like
it's not the first time this has happened because Sega have the licensing deal for Olympics games, and they released a version for I can't remember if it's the iPhone or just for mobile phone devices. It was just called Sonic at the Olympic Games because Nintendo did not give their permission to allow Mario on non-Nintendo platforms. So essentially, the only reason why the Mario and Sonic deal exists is because Sega had this license and they approached Nintendo and said, "Hey, are you okay with us doing a collaboration on this sort of?" Because I think the Olympic Committee wanted to sort of get more eyeballs on the event, and so two has-been mascots from the 90s seems like a good idea.
Makes perfect sense to me.
I say it with love. I love them both.
Mamma mia!
That's besides the point. It's all right, Mario. I still love you. Your games are repetitive and what have you, but I still love you.
Whoa! So
meanwhile, I'm just saying, and meanwhile, when I look at fans who are like, "Oh, hey, Mario and Sonic in one game, this is going to be great," and I just look at them being like, "No, you misunderstood." Have you ever played those games? It's like watching a car wreck going out.
I played the first, and I was done.
You know what blows my mind about that?
What?
You know what still blows my mind about that? Nintendo go, no, we can't have Mario and Sonic in the same game together because it wouldn't fit either character. Mario and the Rabbids, on the other hand.
Ooh-wee.
I mean, what's the real difference? What's the real difference? I mean, one is an annoying, hyperactive mammal that can't shut up, and the other one's the Rabbids.
So the next announcement we got was a game I've never heard of called 2 Point Hospital, which is some sort of like hospital simulator Sims type of game. And they announced that like a Sonic pack where you can just play Sonic arcade games and have characters dress up as Sonic and have Sonic themed decorations all over your hospital. So a little strange, a little random, but cool, I guess, for anyone who plays 2 Point Hospital, which is apparently on every console. And that's that. That's all I can say about it.
But is there anything to say about it?
Well, I've got something if you want to hear it.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay.
It's kind of sinister and a bit disturbing to give like the hospital like Sonic themed aesthetics. Can you imagine that in a real world setting? I'm sorry, Miss Wilkins, your son has HIV. But here, have a chili dog.
I'll be prescribing 5 chili dogs a day. But sir, wouldn't that kill my son? 5 chili dogs a day? Trust me, I'm a doctor, damn it.
There's a gotta go fast joke in there somewhere, I think.
Right.
The patient and the patient is Wilfred Brimley.
No, it's like
got a flatline fast. There we
go.
Gotta have diabetes.
But enough about the Sonic franchise as a whole, though.
So the next announcement that we had was of I believe a Yakuza spin-off game called Lost Judgment. And from what I understand, the Yakuza series has a lot of virtual arcades where you can actually play legit emulated versions of arcade games within the game. You play a game within the game, essentially.
Gameception.
And within this within this particular installment, Lost Judgment, you can play the quote-unquote arcade classic Sonic the Fighters.
Sega officially smoking crack confirmed.
I mean, it's a fun game, but a classic?
Especially when barely nobody, either in Japan or America, especially not America, has heard of this game up until Gems Collection came out.
Exactly.
Still blows my mind they added that on Xbox.
Right, yeah, because like didn't they for the Xbox PS3 version, didn't they like add back in that lost character Honey the Cat?
Yes.
Well, I think she was always there, but you had to do like a select screen cheat to do it.
Right, but like I believe for the digital version, they added that character in like as a legit part of the roster. But yeah, anyways, the next announcement was the big one, which was, quote in air quotes, big one, which was Sonic Colors Ultimate, in which the game is being ported to modern consoles in HD, with some pre-order bonuses. I believe the Sonic Colors Ultimate Physical Edition comes with a movie Baby Sonic keychain, and the digital version includes what they claim to be early access, exclusive music, gold and silver gloves and shoes, exclusive player icons. I'm not sure what those icons are used for. I guess for like your little PlayStation Network, Switch, Xbox Live icon, I suppose. And interestingly, the Sonic movie boost, in which when you're boosting, you have the electric aura that is what that was used as part of Sonic's aesthetic in the movies. And so, first off, I want to say, I never played Sonic Colors back when it came out on the Wii, and I was wondering. I thought, okay, this would be a decent way. I'm sure a lot of people who skipped out on the game, whether because it was the Wii or for whatever reason, it's a decent way of getting an older game onto newer hardware and allowing people to play the game in a brand new way. People who never got the chance to play it the first time, like me. But I do have to wonder, why Sonic Colors? Because it's not like it's the... Like, when did the game originally come out? Because I doubt it's like the 10th... It's like, they didn't advertise it like it's a 10th anniversary. Thank you.
It's the 11th anniversary.
Right. It's the 11th anniversary.
Let's have a look.
Okay.
November 11th, 2010.
Okay, yeah, so it is the... it hasn't quite been 11 years, but still, if they want to capitalize on like a 10th anniversary sort of deal, it's sort of a very weird way to do it. And besides, I'm sure there's a lot of other games that are more worthy, and more other 3D Sonic games are more worthy of a 20th anniversary or 10th anniversary or 15th anniversary re-release than Sonic Colors of all games. Like, was anyone... I think I know why.
Oh,
sure, you can go into that. I just want to say, was anyone actually clamoring for Sonic Colors to be re-released?
Here's the thing. I think the reason why Sega's... I'm sorry, go ahead, James.
No, actually, Ace, you go first since you spoke first.
Okay, because there's one thing I knew about Sonic Colors, is that if you guys are back in like 2010 when that game was released, there was that time when everyone called it the best 3D Sonic game or the best Sonic game in years. So I feel like that Sega remembered that time when it was the game of the hot minute, and we're basically like, hey, a lot of people really like this game, so let's advertise it more. But yeah, that's the thing, is just unfortunately now with times changing and people being more aware of the other games, it's definitely a case where they're a little too late to the party. If this was like back in like 2000, I don't know, like 2013 or maybe like 2017 or so, oh, that'd be one thing. But when the 10th anniversary, when that game was no longer the hot minute, it's a little too late to do. Especially if the game itself doesn't really look like it's showing any improvement. As someone here who has played the game.
Okay. And as for you, Random?
Well, I think it was either the big rumor going around at the time was that it was going to be a Sonic Heroes port, re-release, remake, whatever. And I kind of stared at that like, okay, but why though? Like, of all the games you're going to re-release, why Heroes? Because it was kind of teased with Smash Brothers, because Sonic's like reveal trailer, and I think it was for Wii U and 3DS, they were playing the Sonic Heroes theme, and I was like, wait, why are you playing this? Why this song specifically? but yeah, it turns out no, we're getting color. I mean, in a similar vein, I haven't played Sonic Colors either. The closest I've ever come to playing it was that one level of Celebration, Planet West. But so this will be a new experience for me. The only thing I don't like about Sonic Colors, because I've seen the cutscenes online, is this was the game that began the air quotes new direction for the series, where everyone talks in terrible jokes so corny not even John Cena would say them out loud.
Right.
The game that gave us the words Baldy McNosehair. Now, for the record, I understand this is a game intended for young audiences. You know, I fully understand that. I'm not saying that every character has to run around going fuck, shit, fucking piss, fuck, because that makes it even more childish. But at the same time, it's like, I think even if I was the intended audience for these sort of games, I would stare at that and go, that's fucking stupid.
I mean, we were all
like,
kids. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, why is, like, if I was the target demographic, I'd say, why is this Hedgehog, who sounds like a 30-year-old guy trying to sound like a 15-year-old jock, making a joke so terrible that I don't find this funny? It's like, just, I hate to quote somebody, but you're not funny, Sonic the Hedgehog.
I was going to say, like, you mentioned, like, kids are not going to like this new direction. And I was going to say, like, we were all kids when we enjoyed for you, the Genesis era, and for us, the adventure era. For all three of us, the adventure era. I feel like Sonic himself definitely works best when he's going for that, like, over-the-top, yet sort of semi-serious shonen battle anime vibe. Or tone, where it is ludicrous, it is over the top, but people take the characters within that universe take it seriously enough to where you feel invested in the story, you feel the tension, you feel the drama, you feel the dramatic weight of the story.
The best way I can describe it is that it's a terminology I've liked to use called contrastive media. It looks like one thing but acts like another, and that was intentional too, because the co-creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, Naoto Oshima, has said in interviews that he was influenced by similar type characters, like shonen anime and manga, like Cashiern. I'm forgetting this one, Gatchaman, as well as Marvel comics like Spider-Man and Punisher, but also DC characters like Batman and Superman. So Sonic the Hedgehog has always been that perfect balance between shonen anime as well as American comic books.
That is very true. I mean, I was gonna say, even right down to his design, he's pretty much has like that basic Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse cartoon template, yet has that sort of like anime, like flair, Japanese flair to it that gives him sort of like that extreme edginess to him in the best way possible. I know people like to make memes about the edginess and all that kind of stuff, extreme kind of stuff, but I mean that in like the most sincere way possible.
Which is hilarious that you say that too, because in an interview with Oshima, he actually said that someone looked at his drawing and they said, "Oh, that looks cute and fluffy," and he looked at him and he said, "But it looks edgy and cool and mature." He literally said that. That was his own words from a Sonic documentary I watched a while back.
And what was that, Random?
It's just like, I mean, I think half the problem of it is it's just like when they try to be funny is what makes it worse, and it's kind of, I mean, half the jokes in Sonic Forces, it's just like, I think what annoyed me about that game was when you saw like the opening, the first trailer, it's all dark and brooding, and then when you finally play the game, and it's so lighthearted, and everyone's making like Avengers style quips, and it's like, look, if you're not gonna take this seriously, then I'm out, okay?
Right.
Exactly.
And I guess like going back to Colors to tie into what you just said about Forces, this is the game that introduced those two particular writers that
Ken Pontek and Warren Graff.
Thank you very much. So these are the people that were in charge of this new direction for Sonic, which I believe it was Jay's Review that might have invented this term. If not, feel free to correct me, where Jay's Review referred to this as the quote-unquote meta era of Sonic. This is the point where a lot of that dramatic tension was lost. A lot of the stakes were lost. The drama was lost. Everything was taken in a less serious, more comedic, more poking fun at itself, self-referential, right, sort of direction, where the whole point is, it's like Sega was so afraid of ever doing anything akin to Sonic Adventure as a result of the failure of Heroes, of Sonic 06, I'm assuming, that they want to get as far away from that as possible and want to just go the exact opposite direction. And that's why for the last 10 years, we've had nothing but games that are self-referential, as well as games that focus only on Sonic, no other characters, no attempt at a serious story that makes the player give a shit of what's happening, and just get as far away from whatever could remind people of 06. And I think that's really unfair. And unfortunately, Sonic Colors was the start of that trend.
And a lot of that all again was I was actually about to bring up, I think, Random's point, was because again, not Yuji Naka, but Iizuka mentioned in an interview, again through by the way, I highly recommend the Sonic Complete History book by Udon, which is where I'm getting this info from. Iizuka mentioned that he felt that the newer games were too serious. So for Colors, he wanted it to be a much more comedic style game, which is why he got Ken Pontek and Warren Graff. And they were no strangers to Sega at that point either, because they worked on a game previously called Mad World, which was a sort of a neo-noir type hack and slash game. A really good game, actually, and the writing there actually really worked to their advantage. But you could definitely tell that Ken Pontek and Warren Graff were definitely not in their natural environment, so to say, when it came to then writing Sonic Colors. And you're about to say your point, James?
Well, see, like, you say, oh, we're afraid to do a good story. Yeah, but anyone could tell you that, while a story is key and important for a video game, the main thing we're here for is the gameplay.
Very true.
Because like I'm a huge Mega Man fan, and Mega Man games tend to have the plot of dishwater. They're just like, it's just like I mean, I know story is important. Story is helps narrative, helps things come along, but we're ultimately there just to play the game. Nobody tell IGN or The Last of Us. But it's just, I mean, like I said, I don't mind there being a comedic story in a Sonic game. That's fine, but the story has to be funny then. And jokes about Baldy McNosehair or how stupid your fan base are, like, you can only enjoy taking the piss out of yourself so much before you start developing a taste.
Very true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just say it the once. Go, yes, our fans are weird. We've addressed it. Now we're moving on. But Sonic Boom, I think, just took it to like tenfold, and it's like, okay, this is starting to get really cringy. Like, we get it. The fans are a little bit weird. Can we just move on from this now? Are you doing 10 more episodes?
And you're referring to the TV show, not the Rise of Lyric video game, nor the 3DS installments.
I don't think anyone played that game.
That is very true.
Well, given what I told you, how many copies that game sold, that's pretty true.
Let's see. I'm pretty sure like the majority of the people who played Rise of Lyric were just like Let's Players who want to do it for the views.
Or in cases like me and my friends where we did it to sake of the torture ourselves with.
Because you're masochists.
Yes, I am.
So, but thankfully, like, when it comes to Sonic Colors, while the story may have been lacking and was the start of a very unfortunate trend for the franchise, Sonic Colors is at the very least a so, a game that the majority of people, fans and non just video game fans and Sonic fans alike, generally enjoy and has a generally positive reputation. And yeah, as someone who has never played the game, I'm kind of interested to finally check it out. As for the game itself, like Ace mentioned, it seems like they haven't barely changed anything about it aside from adding a few, how would you say, a few aesthetic.
New Wisp?
No. A few aesthetic changes, such as unlockable gloves and shoes. There's at one point where you can see Sonic's wearing gloves and shoes that have like paint splattered all over them. Previously mentioned like the gold, and the pre-order bonus of wearing gold or silver gloves and shoes. The movie stuff that I'll get into shortly, but it's essentially like the same game overall. It just looks a little nicer and shinier, and I presume this might be a situation akin to Mario Galaxy on the Mario 3D All-Star collection, where the game might have been made in HD, but was just sort of downsized to work on the standard definition console that was the Switch. So maybe that we might be receiving a version of the game in its natural or original resolution, and maybe slightly polished a bit for it to work on modern consoles that utilize like 4K technology. Aside from that, it seems to be essentially the same game with very, very few bells and whistles.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned when it comes to upgrades, because because you could definitely tell if you ever replay the original game on Wii, you could definitely tell that there was some compromise that Sega had to make with the game. Because one of the biggest is definitely even though this one's kind of weird that I say this, given the title, but the colors in a lot of the cutscenes, as well as even in the game itself, are a lot less saturated than you would expect from a game called Sonic Colors. If I were to be honest, like if you ever play the original game, it kind of looks like if Zack Snyder worked on a Sonic cutscene, because it's very saturated with its colors and it looks very ugly.
Yeah, and it also doesn't hurt the fact that a lot of the cutscenes look very compressed, and so there's a lot of like there's like a pixelated edge on every character model, from what I've seen.
Yeah, that it doesn't help, but maybe with this remastering, they'll fix like at least that issue at least.
Mm-hmm. And what about your thoughts, Random? Any interest in finally playing this game?
Yeah, I mean, because it's one of the few 3D Sonic games on the old bucket list to do. Because I've played, excluding Knuckles Chaotix, because let's face it, that's never going to get ported anywhere. But it's like, I've essentially played
Whitehead, do your job.
Yeah, it's like I've played pretty much all of the main entry titles except for Sonic Boom, because I think I'd rather chuck a glass of my piss than play that. Because maybe also although the more serious answer, I've never understood the whole I'm gonna play this game angrily to get views. I've never quite understood that. But anyway,
I'm sure they've got to have money.
Got to have money.
I'm gonna show those developers by giving them money for a game I clearly don't want to play. What am I?
And yet somehow they'll still be able to get their good blessing because they recognize that you hate it and get good views for it. For some reason.
Indeed. It reminds me of this weird. This is slightly off topic, but since we're on this tangent, I might as well go out with it. It reminds me of this thing I read back in the day where there was this truly bizarre boycott of Sonic 4 Episode 1.
Oh, I remember this.
They were going to teach Sega a lesson by not purchasing Sonic 4 on its launch on Steam, but they were going to purchase Sonic 1 on its launch on Steam. So I said, so you're going to deny Sega money by giving them money. Who are the fools here? But yeah, I mean, Colors is one of the few games I have yet to experience. As I said, I think I said this earlier, I've only ever played Planet Wisp via Sonic Generations, so I'm kind of curious to see because most people I've seen have recommended the game quite heavily. I mean, one reviewer in particular, Some Call Me Johnny, recommended the game quite heavily, and I'm curious to see what I've been missing out on since this is the game that introduced the Wisps, and it's like
it's easy because go-to gimmick for every game he's worked on.
It is. It's his go-to
In
gimmick.
case of emergency, get the wisps.
Yeah, like for Yuji Naka, his whole shtick was let's map every single action to one single button. For Izuka, shove the wisps in any way you can in there.
No, dude. As fucking Bland Wonderland has shown us, Yuji Naka's whole thing is, I'm not interested in a story, guys. I just want to make games from 1996.
and badly developed games from 1996.
And
I need to have all the freedom.
And have every action done with one button.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always.
First the Avengers game, and now this. Poor bastards don't know what they get themselves into.
Yeah. I'm just imagining, though, with the case with Izuka, it's just like the bees meme, except it's with Wisp. It's like,
not the Wisps! Ah!
Like,
no. That's what Izuka's doing to his employees. His employees are like, not the Wisps! Ah! Oh, they're in my eyes! They're in my eyes! I just found
Nicolas Cage is holding up the chargrilled remains of the Sonic franchise. How did it get ruined? How did it get ruined? How did it get ruined?
How did it burn? How did it burn?
Look at the flames!
He's trying to hold back his urges to add wisps to the game.
Not the memes. The memes.
They're scraping at the door.
My Twitter feed.
Before we move on, I did find two screenshots of the Sonic Colors cutscenes just to show you how badly compressed they look running on Wii hardware.
Why'd you remind me how ugly they look?
Just look at the edges of the character models, the edge of the blues, the edge of the flesh, the edge of the eyes. Everything's just compressed as fuck.
It looks so bad.
Yeah, this game. Yeah, if any game needs an
the Wii, so...
Yeah, the Wii.
Yeah,
they were clearly like I mentioned. I'm still under the belief that this game was made to work on PS3 and Xbox 360 hardware, but was just compressed to shit just to work on the Wii. So, if anything,
which is ironic because it only was available on the Wii.
Right. So hey, maybe this really is a true blessing in disguise for Sonic fans. The last thing I want to mention,
kind of similar to what happened to it's kind of similar to what happened with Sonic Boom, actually, because they were originally developing that for the PS3 and Xbox 360,
right?
And then Sega said, "Scrap everything, start again on the fucking Wii U," and but we don't have a kit for the Wii U. That's a big reason why Sonic Boom was such a fucking mess, is because they had to sort of ramshackle this thing together with nothing. It's just like, but we got an exclusive deal with Nintendo, and it's just like, yeah, but we don't know how to make Nintendo games.
Right, because the Wii U was a completely different hardware from the current generation consoles, and the engine they were working on was not compatible at all with it.
That was the Unity engine. It could not work on it.
Was it like the Cryo engine? I think it was called, the thing that they used originally for Crysis.
Yeah.
No. You're right. It was the Chrono engine. You're correct.
Cryo, yeah.
Cryo, yeah.
Could be wrong.
That was what it was called, Sonic Synergy, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the original one, because the whole point of the game was supposedly about teamwork, and that was a thing that they had to abandon just to get the damn game to work.
How many times have we seen teamwork with being this moral in Sonic?
The superpower of teamwork.
We're Sonic heroes.
Meanwhile, Team Chaotix are arguing in the corner.
What was that, Random?
That's my favorite go-to line for anything. When someone says to me, "Why are you being an asshole?" Because we're Sonic heroes.
Oh boy! So the last thing I want to bring up with Sonic Colors is the integration. I guess it's like the first time we've really seen the integration of Movie Sonic with the inclusion of the Baby Sonic keychain. Perhaps their attempt to ride the hype of the baby mascot craze that kind of sort of was popularized by Baby Yoda and The Mandalorian, and with the Movie Sonic themed digital bonus features, which includes those previously mentioned player icons of Movie Sonic and the lightning aura of Movie Sonic. So right before we saw this trailer, Random, you mentioned that you theorized that perhaps they may very well slowly want to integrate more of Movie Sonic into the franchise. So it's really interesting to see the beginnings of that potentially happening here.
Oh, wait, hang on. Didn't they include Movie Sonic in that Sonic Dash game on iPhone?
You know what? You might be right about that. I haven't been following the Sonic Dash.
I was just thinking, I know I know they've included the movie version at a movie-themed level in the mobile phone game as well.
Right.
I think the only reason why they're changing it to make it look more like the movie is because the movie was successful.
Right. At this point, this is like the Sonic movie was like the thing that is perhaps the most successful thing out of the entire franchise, and that's really saying something.
Well, that and Sonic Mania.
True, yeah. But I don't know, I feel like perhaps more people, in terms of mainstream audiences, more people have been exposed to the movie, perhaps, than people who have played Sonic Mania.
True.
So for mainstream audiences, Movie Sonic is the most recognizable version to them than video game Sonic or classic Sonic.
It's kind of similar to how, like, more people recognize Iron Man the films he is from the comics.
Exactly, right.
Exactly.
Because movie Tony Stark and comic book Tony Stark are two very different characters.
Right. Different individuals altogether.
So much so that apparently in the years after the first Iron Man movie, Marvel really tried to make their Iron Man look more like Tony Stark, or to more like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man.
Well, they did that with all the cast, actually, because in the build-up to the release of Amazing Spider-Man 2, they redrew Peter Parker to look more like Andrew Garfield. Similar haircut, similar facial structure, all that jazz.
And I do remember, like, around the time Spider-Man 1 came out, they gave some Spider-Man organic web shooters in the comic, and then when Spider-Man 3 came out, they tried giving Spider-Man the black suit again.
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair with 3, that was they released a little bit more subtle because it was a cloth suit, and that was for a whole event going on with Spider-Man with Ant-Man getting shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Although when it comes to the organic webbing, that's a chat for another time, as it were.
Oh yeah, that whole story.
You know exactly what I mean, Ace. You know exactly.
I know exactly what you mean. That's a horror story for another day.
In which case, I should count my ignorance a blessing.
Well, Andres, let me put it to you this way. As to quote Arlie Ermy from Full Metal Jacket, holy Jesus, what is that? What the fuck is that?
What the fuck is that?
Right. One last quote,
to quote the Chosen One from Kung Fury. No, Kung Pao, sorry. I now know officially too much. Brilliant film.
Oh yeah, and
yes.
Ace. So what are your thoughts on them potentially wanting to integrate more of Movie Sonic in the franchise?
I would say take some influence from certain aspects of the movie design and just from the movie world itself. Like I'd like to see like Longclaw, for example, that character that we got like in the very beginning of the movie being integrated into the series. That'd be nice to give Sonic a more definitive origin. Maybe something to explore upon with the next game. But maybe also like incorporate some elements. Like I think for me, I still think the movie Sonic design has the best proportions of Sonic, at least for the modern sense. So I think maybe if they can incorporate that into the games, that'd be nice. But don't go too far with it, because don't try to be what Marvel does and just try to go overboard with it. If you do it subtly, like again, like what DC used to do back in the day with the animated series, when Mr. Freeze got his got rewritten into the series and was beloved by everybody, and then they did the same thing and actually got Paul Dini to write for the new comic version of Mr. Freeze, then yeah, if you go that direction, that's fine, but just don't go overboard with it.
Mm-hmm. Right. One last note I would like to say is that I find it amusing that they're including a Baby Sonic keychain, because if either of you have ever seen the posters or the marketing for the Sonic movie in Japan, they show nothing but Baby Sonic. They barely show adult Sonic in a lot of the posters and trailers. They were
because they love kawaii.
It's all about that kawaii culture. If there's one thing you need to know about marketing in Japan, is that cute shit sells the best.
I
So
believe I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation of this, so I apologize in advance. But I believe the word we're looking for is sugoi.
yeah,
No, yeah,
yes,
right,
yes,
Sugoi!
yes. Kawaii is sugoi, sugoi indeed.
So random. Think of it this way: with your characters, you're going to be making a shitload of money in Japan.
Oh fuck yeah! I hope so too.
Absolutely. So
Yes.
moving on, we had a special guest appearance from Roger Craig Smith. Like for anyone still wondering if Roger Craig Smith was going to continue doing the voice of Sonic, this pretty much confirmed it, as he was there to introduce a trailer/teaser for episodic Netflix online web series called Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps, which apparently is meant to take place, quote, in the world of Sonic Colors. So this is essentially an animated tie-in series of shorts. It's a tie-in to an 11-year-old game. And so aside from just simply there to promote the re-release of Sonic Colors, I keep thinking, why is this a thing, and why put so much effort in what is essentially a glorified re-release port of an 11-year-old game?
And again, the reason why, the answer that I have for that is that this is a new thing that Sega's been trying, and they usually, because a lot of people really love the animated aspects of Sonic, of course, with any animated series that we get, and especially the Sonic CD opening by Toei. There is this huge thing now where there's going to be an animated cutscene to go along with the game as a tie-in. Because for people who aren't familiar with Sonic, if they've seen the short, they'll be like, "Oh, hey, this thing looks cool. Let me play the game then." It's a new thing that they've been trying out recently. They've done it with Mania. They've done it with All-Star Racing.
All-Star, yeah. Or Team Racing.
I'm sorry, Sonic. Yeah, Team Racing. And don't be surprised if they're going to do the same thing with this new game coming up with Rangers or Zap, whatever it's going to be called.
Right. And
Sonic and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on this teaser for Sonic Colors Rise of the Wisps?
Pointless.
Okay, then, moving on.
Yeah, pointless. Don't care about it. And moving on.
If it's in the similar, if it's in the similar vein to the as we mentioned, Mania Adventures and the Overdrive series, why are they talking? The reason why those cartoons were so successful is because everyone kept their fucking mouth shut.
Just pantomiming everything.
Yeah, pantomiming because the direction that Sega gives out to their voice actors is so horrible.
I'll say this right now. I mean, there's no such thing as a bad actor, just bad direction.
Yes.
Unless you're Tommy Wiseau.
And the thing is the voice that I did not hit her. It's bullshit. I did not hit her.
Bullshit.
Then again, he was being directed by himself, so that could explain things.
Oh, hi, Sonic.
Anyway, right, yeah, Sonic, right. It's like the voice cast is not terrible. It's just they're given such terrible things to say. Boldy McNose hair standing.
Yeah, and also I think it also because of the casting choices. Not really the actors themselves, but really the characters that they're meant to portray. Their voices don't really work with them, especially in the case of Roger Craig Smith. Great actor, but his voice is definitely not tailored for Sonic.
I know I showed this to you guys yesterday. For context for those listening, I showed them clips of Shadow in Sonic Boom. In the I think it's 2 or 3 episodes he's in, the first time you see him, he's doing this really shit Negaduck impression, where he's all talking all scraggly, and I'm like an edgy bad guy. But then the next episode he shows up, I am deeply upset by all these things. Eggman will pay for this. Hear it in my voice. Very upset.
He's almost like trying to do like a Christopher Lambert's like Raiden from Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, and
he just sounds so bored.
Yeah,
but
and it's a great actor like Kirk Thornton as well. You got a guy who was in great anime, like again Digimon, Cowboy Bebop, and to see him being reduced to that is very embarrassing.
Yeah. I mean, you could get Nancy Cartwright or even Brian Blessed to read this shit. It would still be terrible.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I told you two about this. The fact that they have Vic Mignogna on their contract, a guy who would be perfect for Sonic, and they put him as Omega.
Yeah, with a voice synthesizer, so you can't even recognize the voice anymore.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the point of even having him there?
What's the point?
Considering in the very first voice they gave Omega, he was voiced by Duke Nukem himself, and you couldn't tell because of the voice synthesizer.
Right. I mean, hell, just have me do the voice of Omega, and you'd get the same result.
You could get better yet, get Google Translate as Omega.
Actually, you know what? That wouldn't be so bad.
Yeah. Although because of you probably get fucking Siri to do this shit as well.
Right. Let's see. So, and what are your guys' thoughts on?
Although, just one last tangent about the voices.
Sure.
I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. The ideal person they should get to play Sonic is the guy who played Yuji in Persona 5.
Oh, you know what?
Fucking perfect.
You showed me that video where people were doing like animations, Sonic fan animations on top of his voice lines. I was like, holy shit! Where's this Sonic been all my life?
I agree with that, but I also say that Josh Keaton would be a close second to that. Because if you ever seen him in Spider-Man, it's like, okay, why aren't you voicing Sonic? Especially since he's a fan too.
See, now because you said that, all I can hear is like his voice doing those Spider-Man memes, but it's Sonic.
Oh my god! Funny you mentioned that. Someone did make an animation of that with Robotnik, and Sonic looks up and goes, "Flying mustaches."
Yes.
And let's see. As for Sonic,
real,
for real,
I love that line. It's just you play a drinking game every time he. Although slight tangent. I made a drinking game out of the name Kamoshida. That was it. Every time they said Kamoshida in Persona 5, take a shot. You'll be dead within 5 minutes. Oh, you think I'm joking?
I don't think I buy it. I'm sure you're serious.
Considering that's like a 90-hour game.
Right. Let's see. So, and I guess finally, like, what are your guys' thoughts on like the animation itself for Sonic Colors: Rise of the Return of the Dark of the Age of the Wisps, Rising of the Wisps?
I got Rayman vibes on it.
A little bit. It's I don't really care. I'm probably not going to watch it, but for anyone who's a Colors fan or loves the Tyson Hess art style, then enjoy. Yeah, that's all I can really say.
Indeed.
For me, I like it. Go ahead.
I might watch it, but it's like it probably won't be as good as the Mania Adventure because that is like pitch perfect Sonic.
For me, it's like it looks good when you're looking at like still screenshots of the series, but in motion, it kind of does have that very like flash animated look to it. It looks pretty much what I expect for a series of seemingly low budget shorts that were made simply to promote a video game. So I'm sure it'll do its job fine at telling a basic, simple story that will tie into the story of Sonic Colors. It'll be amusing if this story for Rise of the Wisps turns out to be better than the entirety of Sonic Colors' writing. But yeah, I'm sure it'll just be some harmless addition to the franchise. And again, given my lack of overall, I mean, my very little lack or lukewarm interest in Sonic Colors in the first place, I'm probably just gonna ignore this one and let it pass by.
Yeah, and when you mention up the writing being better, as Random will know this reference, unless it's Ian Flynn.
Oof.
So, moving on to the next announcement, very abruptly, they announced a Sonic Origins collection, which they didn't really show off a trailer, they didn't show off like a box art, it was just, hey, Sonic Origins, which is Sonic 1, 2, 3, and Knuckles, and CD, which they said would be announced for like various platforms. Although I feel like this was like a huge missed opportunity to have like a sort of like enhanced versions of all 5 games. And heck, throw in while you're essentially like this seems to be a very bare bones edition in comparison to say Sonic Mega Collection, which had like a huge boatload of bonus content, posters, gallery, concept art, even like a freaking like a gallery of Sonic covers, and like even like some version of what was it called, like Sonic Firsts, that had like the 5 issues of the first appearances of certain characters. I loved Sonic Mega Collection growing up, and this seems to be just like none of that. Just here's the 5 games, make what you will, have fun with it, have at it. Although interestingly,
I can't.
Go ahead.
Go on.
Oh, I was going to say that
I saw this.
It's okay. I was just going to say that it looked like, from the footage that they were using, it seems like they were using the HD widescreen Christian Whitehead versions of Sonic 1 and 2, but then when they showed off footage of Sonic 3, it was back to full screen. And I thought, oh man, this would have been like a huge this was like a missed opportunity to have Christian Whitehead just redo all 5 games. And, heck, since we've never had a Whitehead edition of Sonic 3 and Knuckles, imagine having that as part of this Origins collection. That would definitely be like the incentive you need to get people to buy this version if you made it exclusive to this collection, at least initially. Anyways,
but Andre,
wait, no,
Andres,
hold on.
effort and.
All right, go ahead. What were you going to say, Random?
I can't remember where I saw this, but I think it beautifully encapsulates it. It's this meme image of, you see Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, the upgraded enhanced game. Below it, you see Super Mario 3D All Stars with some piss poor like PC ROM versions of the game, and below it, you just see Sonic Origins, Sonic shrugging, going, close enough.
You could say it's better than nothing.
Oof. I love how that tweet. Oh, it's funny you mentioned that. I love how that tweet came back to bite Sonic in the ass.
Right.
Because for context, better than nothing. Right, for context, to those who don't remember, Mighty Number 9 was, let's just put it politely, say, a colossal failure in 2016.
That's
and
politely.
Sonic's Twitter put out. Oh, you should hear the nasty way. So Sonic's Twitter, being the little shithead that it is, decided to put out a tweet to Mighty Number 9 going, congratulations on your launch, it's better than nothing, making fun of Keiji Inafune's infamous remark.
Mm-hmm.
Flash forward several months, Sonic Forces came out, and Mighty Number 9 had a higher reviewed score than Sonic Get Fucked.
Ooh.
I almost kind of wanted to hear the people behind Mighty Number 9 saying, "Hey Sega, better than nothing."
Although the last laugh goes towards Capcom though, because several years later, Mega Man 11 came out and had a higher score than both.
Yep.
Get double fucked.
All y'all's get fucked.
And you get fucked. You get fucked.
And you get fucked.
There's Capcom coming walking up to everybody. I'm taking you out. I'm taking you out. I'm taking you out.
Like, I'm about to ruin this whole company's
career. Boom, bam, bop, bada, bop, boom, bam.
I think, doesn't Square Enix own Keiji Inafune's little company now, or am I misreading that?
Wait.
Like,
oh no. That was the professor. Was it? I think the Professor Layton guy. His company bought and merged with Keiji Inafune's Concept.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And it's made nothing since.
Right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Although I think the worst. To be fair, you have to stand in awe for the marketing of that game. And make the bad guys cry like an anime fan on prom night.
Ooh. Okay, here we go. It's level 5. Level 5 purchased Concept in order to create level 5 Concept. And, outside of some mobile game or whatever, they haven't really done anything since.
They've been crying like an anime fan on prom night.
Oof.
Whose idea was that?
Yep. Dragons and Colonies. That's what it was called. 2019. Dragons and Colonies on mobile phones. But don't worry,
God
guys.
damn.
They still got that Red Ash game that's supposedly coming out on some failed Chinese console in 2020 never.
Yeah, you got more chance of fucking Sonic Adventure 3 coming.
And that's the Loch Ness Monster of the Sonic franchise.
Oof.
Let's see. So I guess there's nothing else to be said about Sonic Origins, about this Sonic Origins collection.
No, I'm
probably
happy. Oh, go ahead.
I'll probably get it because I don't have access to any of those old games anymore, and I can't be asked to buy them off the PSN store.
Okay, then.
Yeah, as for me, I'll stick with the Mega Collections on Xbox. Unless, of course, this is in fact the Whitehead version, then I'll give it a try because everyone's told me that that those ports are really good.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I just noticed that Random just shared a link that's showing a rumor that Tails might be playable in Sonic Colors, and you know what? I'd be down for that. We need more playable Tails.
Yeah, it'd be kind of interesting to see how he's going to go gameplay likewise, but handle him well, then yeah, I'll play. Yeah, it might be fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then he breaks the mech out, and we're all like, "No!"
hey! Speak for yourselves as a personal fan of mechs.
Yes, and as someone who has played those games with SA2, I'm like, no, this is fun. Fuck you.
It made more sense for Eggman. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I love
true.
the core game.
That's true.
I felt like it worked better for Eggman.
True, but I actually kind of like the idea in concept with the game of Tails basically almost being like boastful against Robotnik, being like, "Ha, I could beat you at your own game, bitch."
Although, speaking of that game, does anyone, when you get you kill a certain number of enemies, you get like a rank, and you get like a radical 100 points sort of thing.
Right.
You get like perfect.
Yeah.
Does anyone ever know what Robotnik says when you get a perfect rank? Because all I could ever manage to hear is he says something like, "Now yield power." What the fuck did you just say? Because the music in that game is so overpowering, and he whispers into the microphone. All you can hear is "Now yield power." Dude, I hate. I not to speak ill of the dead or anything. May you rest in peace, good sir. But fucking shout next time.
Now, I don't think that this is a very good idea for me to be raising my voice in this way. What?
Oh,
Speak up, Sonny.
You see,
no disrespect intended to the memory of Dean Bristow. We love you.
Right.
Yeah.
You were my first Eggman.
And you'll forever be for me. You'll always be the best Eggman.
Because it's funny because there's also hidden audio in the first Sonic Adventure. When in Skydeck, when the wings keep going above and below the clouds, there is actual audio of him talking, but because the music is so fucking overpowering, you can't hear what he's saying. He says something over a tannoy. He says something like, descend into the clouds, but you can't hear it because the music he's like, I know you love your guitar students, Sonoy, but fucking turn that shit down.
I blame the audio guy for handling that department. I can't imagine what Jun Sonoy was like when he finally got to play the game and was listening to the music, and he was like, You didn't do audio mixing, did you? You motherfucker!
It's just that's why I want them to remake these games, not because of nostalgia, but I want them to fix those fucking cutscenes and to turn that music to the cutscene when Sonic and Shadow have their final showdown of each story. I like to imagine they're holding their ears, going, "What? I can't hear you. The music's too loud."
What can I say? What can I say? I think
what?
they die hard.
What? I can't hear you. This is the ultimate earache.
Earache. Well, part of the reason why I actually want to see the remastering. Yeah, because funny you mentioned the quotes, because that's the reason why I actually want to see a remastering. Because I really want them to actually use the original Japanese script as opposed to the American script. Because there's a lot of things that unfortunately got cut out when it was localized. Some really interesting dialogue, especially when it comes to Shadow's backstory in the Japanese version. It's kind of sad that they didn't go for. It's kind of a shame how much was lost in translation.
And it also doesn't help the fact that you have English-speaking actors who are being directed not by English speakers themselves, but by Japanese people who didn't speak any English. So you're being directed by a person who doesn't. You're being directed by. You're meant to speak English and being directed by someone who is not a native speaker and thus would know what natural English sounds like.
And also, the cutscenes in general were basically designed around the Japanese. Because the joke about SA2 is the fact they keep cutting each other off and would not let each other speak. It's because the sentences and the structure was built around the Japanese dialogue, whereas it was not tailor-made for a Western. So the one joke especially, he goes, "You're not good enough to be..." I'll make you eat those words! It was not designed with the Western track in mind.
Right, I was just thinking
just repeating the Japanese script. It's a good example of like bad communication and not considering other overseas audience.
Yeah,
whereas
which an element like that
now. Whereas these days, I think it is designed now. Whereas these days, I think it is designed now around the Western audiences, because Sonic's. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, Andres, but Sonic's not really a footnote in Japan anymore.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Sonic, nobody in Japan really gives a shit about Sonic. I've barely seen Sonic's presence at all in like the 5 years that I've been living in Japan. In fact, the only time I've ever seen Sonic at all was an arcade version of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, and I've seen a couple signs featuring Sonic's face on that now closed Sega Arcades building in the middle of Akihabara.
That made me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, it's funny, Andres, you mentioned about when it comes to Sonic's view in Japan, but I also think a lot of the problems with Sonic as well come from, unfortunately, a conflict in cultural barriers and how developers are in Japan versus how they are in here in America. Because correct me if I'm wrong, like how many video game companies in Japan, or at least who are originated in Japan, majority of them don't even develop video games anymore. A lot of them are more concerned with pachinko machines like Konami and Capcom. Would you say that Sega may be on the same route?
I honestly don't know, because, they're still known for pumping out a lot of big arcade titles in Japan, which, surprisingly, the arcade system is still just as strong as it ever was compared to the West, where arcades are all but dead at this point.
I would disagree with Capcom, because the Resident Evil remakes and to some extent half of Resident Evil 8 proves they are still committed to making gaming, but they also do other things. I mean, I think there's like a Resident Evil themed like bar in Japan.
Right. At least Capcom, it seems like it's trying. It seems like they are trying at the very least. Which
I won't be surprised we'll start seeing like Lady Dimitrescu themed like Hooters girls showing up at these bars.
Ooh-wee.
Considering the 20 minutes of screen time that character got, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't played the game yet.
And I can imagine, I can't imagine the poor girls who would have to wear that and have to put so much pillows stuffed into their stuff and just to look the part.
Forget the pillows, it's the stilts they have to wear. And then she turned into a hideous abomination and died within the first hour. Spoiler alert!
Anyway, back to the Sonic Central.
Since you're crying, I fucking called it though.
Back to ignoring the darkest depths of DeviantArt. Let's go back to Sonic news.
To Sonic Central. So we got more announcements. Essentially, we had the last 3 Sonic games: Sonic Mania, Sonic Forces, and Team Sonic Racing, available now on PlayStation Now, and I think it was like an Apple system called Luna, which I never heard of until now. And I think they mentioned one last.
It's Amazon.
Thank you very much. It was an Amazon game streaming service.
I'm just double-checking it myself.
What was that?
Yeah, it's Amazon. I just looked it up. It's Amazon Luna.
Thank you very much. And I think the only amusing thing about this announcement was they mentioned like, here are all of Sonic's biggest highlights, and I'm like, highlights, you say?
Sega smokes crack confirmed.
Let's see. And the next one announcement was the Sonic Dash game, where they announced a couple pirate themed outfits. They mentioned like a new event allowing you to battle friends in private races, and you can set up your own exclusive matches in party mode coming in soon in 2021, and that you can play as both Supersonic and the Werehog. Also, they introduced something involving Team Sonic Racing, but I think it might be like the mobile version of which is just simply called Sonic Racing. So yeah, way to make a generic title sound even more generic.
Of course.
After those mobile game announcements, which I'm pretty sure none of us really cared for all that much, unless you guys have something to say about the Sonic Dash and mobile announcements.
Nah, I'm good.
Nope. All right.
Nope. Moving on.
Next up was Sonic Prime, which was barely an announcement. You had Joe Kelly of Man of Action essentially giving the most generic pitch generic pitch for the Sonic Prime series, which is like, oh, it's going to have action. You're going to have Sonic go real fast. He go fast real good. Behind me is the logo for Dr. Eggman.
Go fast.
He's got to go fast, and go fast he does. And he mentioned something about a Shatterverse, something that is apparently going to play a part in the series. But and I guess it's going to be like something around the lines of like 20-something episodes, so not a whole lot really to dig into there. But it's also coming in 2022.
Yeah, from rumor
What was that?
Speculating when it comes to how that's going to go down is that apparently they're basically doing the Sonic equivalent of can you hear me? Okay, just making sure. Now, apparently there's a rumor speculating around where this series is basically going to be the Sonic equivalent of Into the Spider-Verse, where apparently they're going to have Sonics from different dimensions working together against Eggman or Robotniks from different dimensions, which doesn't really sound all that interesting to me. I mean, because we've already had this whole love letter thing with Sonic over with Generations and then Forces, so adding more to it just doesn't really sound interesting if that's the direction they're going for.
I'll only watch it if Fleetway shows up.
Okay.
But I'm saying this right now. Man of Action. If you put Fleetway in there and he has the most generic British accent ever, I'm turning off. Because not everyone who comes from the UK has this, oh, God, chitney sweet, God save the Queen, oh, God bless you, man.
What the fuck? You mean to tell me that all the media I've been consuming has been a straight up lie?
You mean to tell me that not everyone sounds like a character from Doctor Who?
Or Mary Poppins?
What?
I've never even watched Doctor Who.
You mean to tell me that an English person has never watched Doctor Who? Oh my god!
What? No!
I was too busy watching Bottom and Red Dwarf growing up, so...
Nice.
I know what I'm into. But like I said, I can tell you, I could sit here for hours and tell you how America is full of shit when it comes to the British culture, but that's for another time. Looking at you, Seth MacFarlane. Anyway.
Oh boy. I got a bone to pick with Seth MacFarlane as well when it comes to representations of my own culture.
Well, the difference is, unlike Seth MacFarlane, I'm actually funny. But there we go.
Oh!
Let's see. Moving on, we got some details.
Yeah. Sonic, everybody.
We got details about that Sonic merch. Some Jack-specific toys. What's that?
Fridge magnets.
No, damn it, no fridge magnets.
No, they're sold out. We told you this.
Here's what we got for you. We got from King Ice some tacky Sonic bling, some Sonic jewelry for you, Random. Are you happy now? If not, too bad. Tough shits.
Tough shit.
I want my fridge magnet.
Get fucked, English boy.
Go back to having tea with the Queen.
And you stick your tea and crumpets, whatnot.
Yeah, crumpets. Yes.
The irony about that is that tea is an Indian China invention, but there we go. All right, fine. You know what? I'm going to share one funny story. Fuck it. I'm gonna go there with this.
All right, go ahead.
I used to work at a place which thankfully I don't work there anymore, and this was around the time of the Brexit vote. I'm not going to go into details. You should know what that is by now. And this really ignorant person I worked with, who was very, like, oh, fuck the EU, blah, 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 blah. She was like, I'm going to go out tonight. I'm going to celebrate with lager and fish and chips. I went, oh, yeah, imported goods. Very British of you. She didn't talk to me for the rest of the week. Get fucked.
Let's see. And I guess, like, back to the merch. So among all the different merch that they plugged.
Fridge magnets.
No, damn it! It's they plugged in the Dark Horse, what's it called? Sonic Encyclopedia, written by Ian. I forgot his name already. What is it? Ian Flynn. Ian Flynn, yeah. So he's going to be writing an entire encyclopedia covering the entire Sonic universe and trying to make he's the guy in charge of making sense out of this convoluted continuity that constantly contradicts itself.
And mostly it's going to be his own fan fiction interpretation of it.
Just keep him off Charmy B, whatever you do.
Oh, you told us some interesting stuff about Charmy before.
Aren't we Charmy B? Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh, boy. Remember, this is the same guy who decided to dox a cancer patient.
Oh.
And I'm serious with that, too. That did happen. I'll share with you guys a video on that later.
Anyway, aside from a 30th anniversary... No! Instead, you get coins, damn it! It's ironic that you get Sonic to make some anniversary coins.
You get rings everywhere.
No, damn it, we're doing coins because apparently that's the easiest piece of merch to everybody makes. I don't know why. I don't know what's up with everyone's obsession with collectible coins.
I want fridge.
You know what? Fine. Well,
someone pulls a gun out of it. Will you shut up?
No. It's like you mentioned fridge magnets one more time. And we're turning this podcast around. You hear me, boy?
Someone shoots me in the head. I go to the pearly gates, and St. Peter goes, "Do you have any questions?" Yeah. Where are the fucking fridge magnets?
Which one?
I beg your pardon.
It's like me and Andres are like that scene from Pulp Fiction where I shoot random in the head. It's like you shot that motherfucker again. You wouldn't shut him about the fridge magnet again.
He opens the fucking briefcase. It shines gold. Cuts to my point of view, and it's just full of fridge.
Yes.
Yes.
So, the final announcement that they made before abruptly ending their presentation was the announcement of a brand new Sonic game. Nah.
I'll be good.
It's the announcement of a new Sonic game, which Sonic runs in a forest. There's some weird glowy pink pixels surrounding him, and he goes fast. And we get a very vague logo that some people interpret as Zap, or maybe it could be a little image of Sonic running. Otherwise, it's a really nice looking logo on top of a stone hieroglyphic background that gives people some Sonic Adventure vibes. Other than that, there's really nothing that this teaser really teases anything. In fact, it probably shows us less than even the teaser for Sonic Forces, or if you want to go way the hell back, this probably gives us less to work off of than the Sonic 06 teaser, for any of you who remember that sort of teaser slash tech demo.
The 05 E3 trailer,
yeah. So
he's fighting a bunch of Evangelion robots,
right? Before turning supersonic. So this really gives us nothing to work with other than Sonic's got some gimmick that involves having a special aura that will do something. Now there has been 2 leaks. There was a leak back in January where an anonymous individual claimed to have done focus testing on a new Sonic game called Sonic Rangers, which, according to the metadata that was pulled from this current new trailer from the Sega website, that seems to be the name of this game's title, or at least its working title for now, Sonic Rangers. So there was some information that came out about this potential Sonic Rangers game from January, and then right after this trailer came out, another person who claimed to have been a game tester had the same information revolving around this Sonic Rangers game. So before I do go delve into what may or may not be Sonic Rangers / Sonic Zap, what were your guys' opinions or reactions towards this very brief teaser? Ace, you can go first.
There's nothing really to say. It's just a trailer with maybe a bit of an idea what they're going for in terms of direction. It seems like they're going back to the more Sonic Adventure-esque mythology / fantasy direction that we saw with with Chaos and such. Which I'm always up for. I like Sonic when it delves into mythology. But again, I need more of an idea what we're getting for in terms of the gameplay and the story, because so far, all it is just typical Marza animation of Sonic. There have been speculation since that trailer was released, and one of them actually, since you mentioned the Sonic Rangers thing, is that 2 days ago, actually, there was a press release from Sega, and the person accidentally said the name Sonic Rangers, so it's even more possible that this might be like the prototype name at the moment. And also, there is some speculations on the fact that this may also actually be a Breath of the Wild style 3D open world type game. And that's something I've been wanting from Sonic for a long time now, because it's kind of funny that we talk about how infamous 06 was, and yet that was the last time Sonic has ever been a full 3D game since.
Right, because if you ever played any of the Boost games from Unleash forward, Sonic almost never is allowed to move around in a 3D space. And the few times that you can move in a 3D space, the controls are really janky and were not suited for that type of gameplay.
Yeah, and also, and not to mention, it was also the stage design was meant to be a straight line, so it's basically made to be more transition to the 2D stages as opposed to the full 3D roaming, which is a big issue that I have when it comes to modern Sonic in terms of its development. But if this game turns out to be what rumors are speculating, then this seems like a definite light of hope for me, because I've always preferred Sonic being a full 3D as opposed to the 2D games, mainly because, one, I don't really have that sense of nostalgia towards the older games, and plus, I grew up with a lot of 3D games, as mentioned before, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro.
Mm-hmm. And plus, we got Sonic Mania for 2D gameplay, so there's really it's kind of redundant to bring 2D gameplay back for a 3D game.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm hoping that maybe with this rumor, it's possibly Sega looking at Forces and seeing a lot of the criticisms for that and being like, okay, now we can finally let modern Sonic be his own thing at this point, since this didn't work.
Yeah. And so what about you, Random?
I simply pulled up a deck chair, grabbed a beer and some popcorn and said, well, let's see how they fuck this one up. All right, I'm kidding. I mean, similar to Ace, at this point, it's just like, it is a pretty trailer that shows him running fast. That's it. There's nothing really to comment on. I'm not going to comment on the whole Sonic Rangers thing, because, I mean, there's a certain franchise you can make jokes out of there. Mighty... It's on the tip of my tongue, Power... it'll come to me later. But,
Super Sentai. I mean,
apart from that, that's right. I got it. I remembered it now. It was a big thing in the 90s. Big bad Beetleborgs.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, at this point, it's just CG trailers tell you nothing. There's no gameplay. There's no information. So at this point, I could say, "Oh, it's going to be this," or "Oh, it's going to be that," or "It better do this," and it ends up being none of those things. So at this point, all you can do is say, "Trailer pretty. I'll wait for more details." There we go.
Okay.
That's it.
And details we may potentially have, according to these leaks. Now, again, these are leaks. These are anonymous leaks that were posted onto 4chan, which could very well be very wrong. And even if they are true, this version that they were test playing could be very different from the final product. So this is what this person mentioned. Did a focus test for a new Sonic game called Sonic Rangers, which is an open world adventure game which takes heavy inspirations from Zelda Breath of the Wild. Did 2 demos, a 20-minute long exploration of the open world, and a final boss battle. Open world is populated with small enemies, puzzles, and platforming challenges. Completing puzzles, challenges, enemies, rewards, experience points, which can be redeemed in a skill tree. Skill tree unlocks abilities like the spin cycle, where when you hold Y, Sonic starts tracing a line behind him, and if you finish a circle, it attacks all enemies inside the circle. So that very well may be like the circle that we see in the trailer. That could be like an attack of his that he can do, which makes sense if you're given like a wide 3D space to work with. He mentions... Go ahead.
I was about to say, that actually sounds like an idea that I've always had for how you could combine the boost formula with the adventure formula, which is an idea called the boost dash, where basically you take the spin dash and then you add the boost on top of it. So it kind of sounds like that a little bit.
And Random?
I was just saying, yeah.
Next up, he mentions that the lock-on attack returns, which I believe might be he's referencing the homing attack. He says there are bosses. I'm using he. That's just my default go-to pronoun. I should be using they. They say,
"Are you assuming their gender then, Andres?"
God damn it!
And suddenly we hear a banging on Andres's door, and it's the Tumblr police.
No. Even worse, it's the PC principal from South Park.
PC bro,
open up!
Can a guy get some privacy?
All right, next up, they say there are bosses spread through the open world. Defeating them grants orbs. If you get enough orbs, you can go to a portal and go to cyberspace. Cyberspace levels are generation style, and the music goes hard. Beating them fast enough grants Chaos Emeralds. Okay, so it seems like the whole, if this is true, perhaps the whole pink pixels, that might be like Sonic's way of entering the special stages, and the special stages are these levels where you essentially do these like speedy run-throughs to get Chaos Emeralds potentially. So what we saw in the trailer could be Sonic entering a special stage.
And it actually sounds a lot like Sonic CD when Sonic time travels. A very similar scenario. So perhaps they're taking influence from CD in that sense.
He mentions exploration and combat was super boring, very button mashy, but whatever. New voice acting by Roger and no one else was present, so they're definitely sticking to the general theme at least. He mentions a final boss, but given that it's a demo, maybe it's just a regular boss. He mentions after gathering all the emeralds, you can then cut through a thick fog you couldn't before in the open world. Gigantic tree robot thing is the boss. Fly around it as Supersonic, utilizing spin cycles and other abilities, mainly mashing buttons. Can take damage on a timer of rings, similar to most final battles, I suppose. Ghost Girl refills your ring count multiple times. Demo ended after defeating the boss. Game is still definitely early on in development, but it was rough. Not a fun time from what I played. So it looks like they're trying out a brand new gameplay style. They're finally abandoning the boost formula that they've been utilizing since Sonic Unleashed way back in 2008. And it probably looks like this new 3D gameplay may have a lot of it's still a little janky, and they're still got a lot of like stuff to work out of. Looking at the other leak, this one was posted on May 27th, which was, right after the announcement. So this one is less likely to be real, but let's see what this person says. Open world gaming, Ubisoft-style towers with annoying-ass Korok ripoffs. Korok being a species of forest spirits from the Zelda series. He mentions Ubisoft Towers, and I actually looked this up, and apparently Ubisoft Towers is a terminology video game fans use whenever they talk about open world games that utilize large towers in a similar vein to what was introduced in Assassin's Creed, where you have this very large open world, and these very tall towers are supposed to be these sort of like checkpoints. So for people who are exploring and want to unlock more of the open world, they got to climb these massive towers to unlock new sections of the world around them. And this was also a gameplay mechanic used in in various video games. Most recently, you can see that clearly in Zelda Breath of the Wild, given that the whole game was based around open world explorations and conquering these gigantic towers. He mentions they mention story revolves around a human ghost girl thing, enemies, puzzles, bosses sprinkled throughout the world, beating puzzles to get orbs, use orbs to unlock portals. Portals lead to Unleash style levels, best part of the game in my opinion. Beat Unleash style levels to get level ups, experience point system with a skill tree, circle thing. In the trailer is Sonic's signature move in this game called the Spin Cycle. You hold Y and run in a circle around enemies to attack them. Battle is boring. Mash X to win. I'm assuming X means like just using homing attack a bunch of times. Open world unlocks over time with Ubisoft-style towers. Boss battles are stupid easy. Music in Unleashed levels slaps, but open world graphics and music was underwhelming. We played on pretty good PCs. And those are the leaks from 2 accounts of people who have allegedly played a test build version of Sonic Rangers.
They sound like they're pretty much the same. So there is a likely chance that it sounds like if it's not different, it doesn't sound like that there is 2 different styles of gameplay. It sounds like that they're roughly the same thing as each one described.
Right. So go ahead.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say, yeah, like as to mimic what you said, it does seem like that there's still got a long way to go before this game is going to get properly released.
At least as of January of this year.
Yeah, as of January of this year. But it is kind of depressing knowing that that they're basically going back to, basically abandoning a style just for a brand new one. But if it's has some I don't know what I'm looking for. If it does have some elements of the older games and it's just more of building upon a formula like the adventure formula, then that's one thing. I can get behind that. But don't try to don't repeat the same mistakes you did with Sonic Lost World. Don't try to be like Nintendo, because otherwise it's not going to go well for that game.
Right. And you know what? Honestly, I don't mind them abandoning the boost formula. I feel like they've utilized it long enough, and as we saw with Sonic Forces, the team that they've got at Sonic, at least as of 2017, they really don't know how to handle that formula anymore. And plus, I believe fans may have gotten tired of the same formula again and again. So I'm down with a brand new style. I like the idea of an open world Sonic game. We haven't had that at all since then. Are either of you familiar with this like fan game that was called Green Hill Paradise Act 1? Or maybe it was called it was called Green Hill Paradise Act 2. It was like a fan game.
Yes, I am.
I think I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen this.
Let me look up a video of it. It's like
back a little. I had a slight mix up there.
It's okay. Yeah, you sound good.
Excellent.
And so here we go. Here's a video that you guys can watch right now. Green Hill Paradise Act 2 was a fan game. I'm not sure if it was ever fully made, if it was built on beyond this demo. I played a little bit of this demo. It was kind of like, what if you play Sonic in a Tony Hawk style skateboard game where you just have this big open playground to do a bunch of tricks around, a bunch of hills, a bunch of corkscrews, a bunch of loop-de-loops. It's just one giant playground for you to just, do a whole bunch of stunts around, like a Tony Hawk Pro Skater game.
Sounds familiar.
And I'm actually walking in. Yeah, this is the game. I've seen this game before, and yeah, I actually really loved the idea of it. I think the problem with the game itself is that, or at least in terms of fan game concept, just make sure you don't go too overboard with it being free roam, because again, one thing about Sonic that's always made it so such an iconic character in terms of gameplay is that it's a very simple point A to point B type situation.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you still make it clear that there's a point A and point B, but there's a world that you can still explore.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I love the adventure games so much, because they basically do that. You have shortcuts, you have secrets you can go to, but you still know that you got to beat the end of the level.
It would be with this. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was about to say, it's an interesting experiment. Don't get me wrong, but it's just, if you're going to do that as a legit game, however, again, make sure that you still know what you have to do and not feel like you're lost in this one giant stage.
Yeah, you know what? It'd be interesting if they were to incorporate the mentality of the 2D games, because if you, for those who may have not revisited those the original classic games, but those 2D games had their own sense of exploration. It actually, the developers went out of their way to make sure players are rewarded for using alternative methods or alternate paths to complete a particular level.
Yes.
If you're skilled enough, you're able to explore the level and find shortcuts or little bonuses. I mean, that's for certain games. That's what led to the discovery for players to discover the bonus special stages. So it'd be cool to have like a wide open world open world akin to Breath of the Wild, and just by exploring around, you can find explore a bunch of nooks and crannies to find special surprises and bonuses and unlockables, and while at the same time implementing goals akin to, say, like Batman Arkham City. It's a big open world, but there's still a point A to point B to point C approach, where you got to go here to progress the story, then you got to go here to progress to the next chapter of the story, and maybe there are also some missions here and there if you want to do them for that are completely optional. So, I feel like an open world Sonic game could potentially work. And you know what? The game doesn't come out until 2022. So as of January, they got an entire year. They have an entire year to work on from that point forward.
Yeah, and please, Sega, use that time wisely. Don't do what you did with Forces, where only a year was spent on the actual game's development. Like, put effort into this, especially for how big you want this game to be, if that's the case.
Sorry, Random. What were you going to say, since you haven't been able to comment?
It's okay. I feel like at this point, if this one doesn't work out, maybe just stop trying to do open world Sonic stuff and maybe just start doing open world Knuckles, since the character is built for exploration.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you could make a Banjo-Kazooie style Knuckles game, but instead of like Jigsaw.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Just think about it, the character can glide, he can climb up walls, he can dig. I mean, you keep trying to make a 3D Sonic, and it doesn't go very well because the character is fundamentally too fast, and the level design does not accommodate it very well. Mm-hmm. Just make an explorative Knuckles game, because he's built for this shit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And hey, if you ever want to bring back multiple playable characters again, this might be the perfect time to bring in the Chaotix team.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember we were talking about this the other night, but Random here had a great pitch for us for how you could implement the other characters in a different spin-off series. Like Shadow would have his own spin-off with certain characters like Omega, Rouge, Mephiles, and Infinite, whereas Knuckles can have his own spin-off as well. And that one focuses more on platforming, whereas Sonic is more straightforward in his approach, and Shadow can be more experimental.
I mean, just to give the comment, just to give everyone full context of what I was saying last night, was the pitch was very simple. Like, you have this large cast of characters, and essentially all you do is you stick them in the background to do their best Dragon Ball Z protagonist impression, which is stand around and go, oh, while Sonic essentially does everything. And like Sega's solution is, we need 3 Sonics. No, you don't need 3 Sonics. You need 3 franchises. So Series 1 is just mainstream Sonic, which just has Sonic, Tails, Amy, Robotnik, and Metal Sonic, and no gimmicks, no silly bells and whistles. Just keep it plain, simple, which is not necessarily classic Sonic, but essentially you keep it straight and narrow and give people what they want. Series 2 is the Shadow series, which has Shadow, Rouge, Omega, Mephiles, Infinite, etc. And there you could do all the experimenting you want, all the crazy new ideas, all the darker story themes. That, if you want to bring back Shadow, Pack, and Heat, you can do it here. You have the main Sonic series, where it's basically AKA the safe approach, what everybody apparently wants to have. Shadow can be the more extreme experimental series, whereas series number 3 is the Knuckles series, which is all about exploration, treasure hunting, all the ideas you had in the Adventure era again. You don't need 3 different Sonic. You don't need Boom Sonic, Classic Sonic, Diet Sonic, Sonic Zero, any of this stupid shit. Because
original the character, do not steal.
Cold Steel the Hedgehog.
We don't want more Sonic. We don't want more Sonic. We just want, believe it or not, people do actually like the secondary cast. It's just give them fucking something to do apart from stand around in the background and make corny jokes or do their best Dragon Ball Z secondary character impression.
Meanwhile, Izuka's listening to this and it's like, what's that? You want more wisps? Okay.
The fans have spoken.
Yeah. God. It's sad because Infinite could have been a great character, whereas my original pitch is he peels off the mask and it's that creepy Sonic CD hidden image character underneath that mask, which would have been a fucking But instead, what do we get? I'm not weak.
It's basically the Sonic equivalent of DBZ Broly.
Which one?
The movie,
I said DBZ Broly.
Movie Broly.
The shit Broly. Got
it.
How to ruin a character in one sentence. I'm not weak. Table flip. I think Lady Dimitrescu had more of a personality than Infinite, and that's fucking saying something.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right. I'm insulting your waifu. What of it? She looked beautiful through the sights of my sniper rifle.
all the lady
through the snipe.
All of the stands for that character are all like. I love
Sorry,
this
everyone.
Meme.
She looked very beautiful through the sights of my sniper rifle.
Oh man! So,
essentially, she's just a boring Mr. X with tits. There we go.
So it looks like that is pretty much it for the Sonic Central announcement. We essentially had Sonic Colors Ultimate, potential Sonic Rangers teaser, a bunch of merchandise and mobile game announcement and third-party collaborations, and that's about it. Yeah. Oh, and the upcoming concert. Then that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So
and his appearance in that football game and that doctor thing.
Right. That also. So yeah, overall, what are your guys' thoughts on Sonic Central as a whole? As well as in terms of it supposedly being this big 30th anniversary Nintendo Direct style presentation.
Best way I could put it is I'm thinking of that scene from Sonic CD where Sonic is looking at his wrists at the time, and then he gets bored and jumps off the cliff. That's it. There's just nothing really here to really get me fully interested in what's going on. Again, the only thing is maybe the new game, with Rangers, but other than that, it's not really much.
All right. And for you, Random?
Fridge magnets and joking aside, I set my expectations very low because I didn't want to go in and be like, oh, it's going to have this, it's going to have that, but it's going to be great. And then you set yourself up with disappointment. It's why whenever they say, oh, we got a new Smash Bros. Announcement coming out, put the expectations at the floor, even though that Master Chief rumor is making me fucking nervous. I'll say no more about that. But I expected nothing, or just maybe here's some ports, and what we got is pretty much what I expected. I mean, I don't want to comment on Sonic Rangers just yet because, as we've said, it is just a glorified teaser trailer with no visuals, no gameplay, so it ultimately tells you nothing. Because trailers can always lie. Look at you, Resident Evil 8, one last mention of it. But essentially, I mean, I might pick up Origins because I wouldn't mind having those games for the Switch. I will probably get Sonic Colors Ultimate because I've never played that game before. It's one for the old bucket list. I'm not interested in the new cartoons or the other weird things they announced, but as far as the 30th anniversary goes, yeah, I agree with Ace. It's kind of underwhelming, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. I think this image alone from, I believe it was from Malcolm in the Middle, sums up my thoughts exactly. I expect nothing, and I'm still let down.
I love that episode.
Yeah.
So the best thing is you could take that image, put Ace's head on the kid, and put a copy of like Ian Flynn's IDW stuff on the plate. I expected nothing, and I'm still furious.
Yeah, I'm with you guys.
Although I'm gonna
go ahead.
If you want to share this image in the street in the actual video, be my guest. This is our combined reaction when Rangers comes out, and it's terrible. I'll just let this load real quick.
Oh boy,
I'm excited. What do we got here?
Like if Rangers finally come, I'm saying Rangers because it's probably the working title because I don't think they pulled that on its final.
No,
because to be fair, Wildfire became. our collective reaction will be Pennyworth losing his fucking shit.
But tired of your bullshit, Master Sega.
I've buried enough members.
Master Zuka, I believe we need to have words.
I've buried enough installments of the Sonic franchise.
Who do you think dug the grave?
Ooh.
Oh,
that's Zuka.
So Izuka.
That's how you pronounce it.
You're right, because he's got two eyes at the beginning, so there is an emphasis there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been saying Izuka all this time. My apologies.
No worries. Now you know, and of course, knowing is half the battle.
And knowing is half
G.I. Joe.
Huzzah! Yeah. So after
fridge magnet.
after
had to get it one last time.
After seeing all of this, it is, as for a 30th anniversary, 30 years of Sonic the Hedgehog. 30 years is an immense accomplishment there. I mean, I should know. I'm 1 year away from being 30. Sonic and I, we're tight like that. We're separated by 1 year apart. 30 years of surviving the way Sonic has all these decades now. It's quite an amazing accomplishment for such a big cultural video game icon. And so to cap off 30 years with something like this, that's just like merchandise, mobile, a glorified port, and a teaser that teases nothing, it is overall very underwhelming. And I think it's not very deserving for a 30th anniversary. So, it's very possible that they just really do not have much in the works at the moment, so they just try to make the best with what little they had. But in that case, I don't think it really warranted a Nintendo Direct style presentation. They should have just made those announcements, launched those 2 trailers / teasers, and call it a day. But hey, I don't work for.
It would have been better
Go
if
ahead.
It would have been better if they announced all this shit at E3. At least that
Very
way,
true.
it's surrounded by all these other announcements. Like they could have had a Sega Direct at E3, so they could show it off Lost Judgment, what they're doing with House Dead Remake, and we're bringing out a new Sonic game and a port. But by itself, it's very bare bones and kind of, this didn't need a Direct. If it was at E3 with all the other, possibly that Jet Set Radio Crazy Taxi reboot coming out, then they would have been justified. But 12 minutes of just hot air, time not well spent, I'm afraid.
Right. But you know what was time well spent? Being able to spend the last 2 hours with you guys.
Yay! Where's my fridge
Mostly
magnet?
hearing about fridge magnets.
Damn fucking fridge magnets, Sega.
When
They're around, but they're just sold out.
Hashtag when fridge magnets.
Hashtag go fridge or go broke.
How about this? Hashtag go fridge yourself.
Very nice. Very nice.
When will you learn? When will you learn that your fridges have consequences?
It says everything about me. Like the whole internet right now is like, oh, I want the Dimitrescu to sit on my face, and I'm the only guy sitting there going, "Where's my fridge magnet?"
You're at least someone's asking the real questions, the important questions. God damn it!
Damn fucking straight.
The ones that God himself intended for all of us.
So, to wrap up all of this shit, closing thoughts on Sonic's 30th anniversary and the future of Sonic the Hedgehog. Random, you go first.
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to get a knock on my door, and Agent Stone's going to be there, and he said, I just thought you might like some fridge magnets. What do I look like, an imbecile? Of course I want some fridge magnets. I love the way you make them! But apart from that, it was okay, but could have been better. The announcements, that is.
And hopes for the franchise, for the future of the franchise?
I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Fair enough. And for you, Ace?
Well, at least I could always maybe get some ideas to inspire off of for future projects. Other than that, yeah, no thank you.
All right, then. And I kind of already said my spiel on the presentation, and for the future of the franchise, who really fucking knows? It seems the only thing that's like the most stable right now is the movie, so let's hope to God that sequel doesn't shit the bed like certain superhero movie sequel that came out earlier this year. So yeah, there you have.
Oh yeah.
There you have it. Our 2-hour long colorful discussion on Sonic Central and Sonic's 30th.
What you did there.
Yeah. There you have it, folks. Our thoughts and full discussion on Sonic's anniversary and the Sonic Central presentation. We hope you've enjoyed it. So to wrap things up completely, where can people find you, Ace?
Well, currently I have a Facebook page called Ace Marrok, director and writer, where for the future I'll be uploading future projects such as comic book work, manga work, as well as film work. I got some projects in the works currently, and also the Art of Marrok page, where here and there I upload some art and sketches to use for future projects, as well as possibly taking commissions in the near future, but can't speak on that as well.
Some of those commissions coming from me that you had a hand in working on.
I did, and some of them eventually being worked into some of the books. And also to be prepared for a certain collaboration that me and Kaiju Noir here are going to be working on for a certain Draco Azul novel.
Exactly. But before I can get into that, where can people find you, Random?
I am currently available in 2 places. I probably won't reply straight away if you do want to get hold of me, because I'm busy with IRL stuff, but I have a
and
Facebook
fridge magnets.
Page, send your fridge magnets to 742 Evergreen Terrace. I'm available at the Random DC Facebook page, Random DC 3 on DA, but I am on those places, but I'm currently in a mixture of doing commissions for sprite images, ranging from just a simple sprites images to not safe for work stuff. And I'm currently working on my newer series, which I'm putting most of my time and investment into, the Chronicles of the Abyss, starring my new character Rhiannon, which I am very happy with, and possibly doing a crossover with Kaiju Noir at some point in the near future.
Yes, everyone's gonna get a piece of the Draco Azul action, and I can guarantee, maybe not really, some fridge magnets in the future as potential merch.
Should I propose now, or? So, why did you marry him? He had me at fridge magnets.
That's Reed's ultimate weakness. It's fridge magnets.
That's the secret ending to Kaiju Noir versus Rhiannon. Like Eric just pulls out a fridge magnet and she's like, "Take me, you beast!"
Spoilers.
I have to work that in there. She's gonna Rhiannon's gonna say to Draco as well, "When I'm done with you, I'm gonna turn you into fridge magnets." I'm adding that shit in there now. You realize that, right?
Ah, fuck.
Good. We need more. More. As the quote the Kylo Ren mean, more.
More. And as finally, you can find.
And if he is somehow listening to this, you just know Crookedlore sitting there going, "That Rhiannon fridge man, it better have big tits on it."
Oh, Crookedlore.
If he's listening, I love you, buddy. It's all okay.
And yeah, since we brought him up, you can follow Crookedlore over on his YouTube channel. You can follow him on the Facebook page, Crookedlore, and you can check out his work, his book series, God's Wrath: Tournament of the Divine, on Amazon in Kindle and paperback formats. And you can look forward to his new upcoming comic, The Crooked Man and His Not So Scary Crooked Cat Girl, which is a comic book based on the mascots of his YouTube channel, Augustine the Crooked Man and Belle the Crooked Cat Girl. Look forward to that. And finally, you can find yours.
Amazing.
Oh, definitely. You can follow yours truly here on the Kaiju Noir YouTube channel. You can follow me on Instagram at Kaiju Noir, where I'll be posting images related to the YouTube channel, as well as some artwork and collaborations I've made along the way. You can follow my Facebook page, Primal Warrior Draco Azul, to get all the latest news and updates regarding my indie comic series / brand Draco Azul. If you love giant robots, if you love giant monsters, I'm sure Draco Azul will be right up your alley. It's essentially Pacific Rim in Mexico. What more can you ask for? And on top, well, I can actually tell you. Aside from that, you can also get yourself my novel-length anthology book, Primal Warrior Draco Azul Full Metal Chronicles, which is a series of short stories set between the first 2 issues of my comic. And you can look forward to the crossover that I have in development with Random here, featuring his character Rhiannon from Chronicles of the Abyss. And you can also look forward to another project I have in the works, which is Primal Warrior Draco Azul Soulless Blood, co-written by Ace and I. Which is another actually going to be a full-on novel in this case. So yeah, you can check out all of that. Links will be provided in the description below. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I have been Andres Perez, aka Kaiju Noir.
And I have been Ace Marrok.
And I've been demanding fridge magnets.
And until next time, everybody, take care.
Oh, and happy birthday, Sonic.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah, that too.